All right, we are right here in Module 2, and I hope you already attempted the questions in Module 1. How did it go? Was it easy? Were there problems along the way? Let me know. All right, so let's proceed with Module 2. Basically, Module 2 is way more easier, and Module 2 is about risk management processes. And basically, you try to understand the risk management processes. So forget about the long, headings. All you need to understand is risk management, right? Managing risk. So what we'll be going through is the module objectives, and L stands for lesson, so lesson 1, 2.1, which is basically chapter 1, 2.1. Define risk management terminology and summarize the process, relate risk management to personal or professional tactics, right? So I'm not going to be breaking up the video. It might be long, but we get the information we need, right? So let's proceed with this, and this is about risk management, right? There's a video there. We are not going to watch any of the videos. You are going straight into risk management terminologies. If you are going to cover everything on risk management, you are going to need to understand why we have risk management, right? The first thing you need to know about risk management is that in whatever country or corporation you are, or organization, whatever it is, there is always risk. In short, I saw a video. It's all risky, basically. Everything is risky. Coming out is risky. Watching this video is risky. Going out there is risky. Sitting inside is risky. Everything is risky. So there's always a risk everywhere. So it just depends on how high or how low that risk is and how much you manage that risk. So there are some terminologies we need to cover up, and we are going to look at these terminologies together. The first terminology we have there is asset. When we talk about asset, it's something you want to protect. Your laptop is an asset, your organization is an asset, you are an asset. This video is an asset. Yes, everything is an asset, right? Apart from the asset, we have the next thing being vulnerability. Now, when there is a loophole by which that asset could be, attacked, when you can get into the asset, do something that affects that asset, that is a vulnerability. Yes, that's basically it. It's just a way by which someone could get in. And a threat is something that is going to act on that vulnerability. For instance, you're walking by, you can see that very nice looking sculpture right by the side. If you push down that sculpture, it's going to break, right? That sculpture is an asset. The vulnerability is the fact that it can be pushed down, right? Because it wasn't properly placed to the floor or whatever, or because you have more power, right? And the threat is you. You're pushing down is the threat, right? Because you could go ahead to push it down. That is exactly what those three are all about. I know we have a lot of examples about that, so we're just going to move. I'm trying not to make a long video. It's not working so far, but then, I'm going to just put it out like that. I'm tired of trying to protect it. So we have videos that we won't be watching, but then we have risk identification. Before that, we have what we call likelihood, right? So I'm just going to take a detour here and explain something. Risk is always equal to these two variables, right? Likelihood and impact. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. You know what I'm about to write, right? So, likelihood basically is the probability that something can occur. Like, how possible is it that this will happen, right? And the impact is how bad it's going to be, how bad it's going to affect. So, how bad does it affect? Right? So that is basically likelihood and impact. Likelihood is probability it occurs. Impact is, in English terms, just impact, you know. Impact is impact, right? So you're going to see those two a lot, and that is how we calculate the risk. The likelihood and the impact. The likelihood that you are going to push that sculpture is really low, unless you're a crazy person, right? And because there are so many people watching you, it gets even lower. And the impact, if it happens, is that that thing shatters completely. What if you push it down and it doesn't break? Maybe it's made out of iron, right? Then the impact is low, so the risk is kind of lower. You get the idea. Likelihood is just risk and impact. We're not going to spend too much time on it. So we have the risk identification. How do you identify risks? Basically, the most important part of this whole thing is something that always comes out on the exam. This line right here, really important, right? Anybody can actually identify a risk. It's not for only you as a security professional, please. It's not just your job as a security professional. It's the job of every employee you have in there. Everybody you have in the organization is supposed to identify a risk. I hope we've gotten that out clear. So that is about risk identification. The next thing is about assessing the risk. When you are assessing a risk, basically you are checking and identifying and prioritizing what risk is bigger compared to the organization. And basically that's what they are explaining in here, and you document all of that and put it the way it should be. Now, the risk treatment is really important for you to understand, because you're going to have a bunch of questions coming from here. Take note, at the end of this, possibly you should just check the description. You should see some questions I'm going to attach it from quizzes. You can go ahead and attempt all the questions you want to attempt in there. All right? So risk treatment is really important. Please listen. Very, very important. How do you treat risk? This is what you do. When it comes to risk treatment, I think I should switch to a whiteboard so that you know how serious it is, right? So we're going to do whiteboards right now for risk treatment. There are 4 parts to risk treatment. The first one is risk avoidance. You know what? I'm going to just use the way it looks like here so you understand it, right? I'm going to, let's take off the board, and avoidance, right? Now, with risk avoidance, you totally don't do something. So you are trying a new business venture, you're planning on doing something, and then you're told that if you go ahead with this particular venture, okay, let's use a different analogy, right? You decided to build a house, or rather, your business or your company, you decided to build it at the top of a mountain, right? So you're being told that the risk with that is, of course, you get more visibility, a lot of people see you more, but the risk there is that at any point in time, the company could be blown off the cliff. The cliff is not stable, there could be a volcano, something of that stuff, right? So it's a lot to take in, and then you calculate your losses and say, oh, if a volcano takes over my business right now, I'm going to lose everything. I'll be back to zero. So you are like, nope. Nope, I'm not doing it. That nope is you avoiding the risk totally. When you avoid the risk, you totally run away from the risk, right? So that is risk avoidance, right? And the next time, if you said, oh, no problem, I'm going to make a lot of money anyway, and I'm going to just rebuild, that means you're accepting the risk of the volcano, accepting the risk that things could go wrong, and all of that. The next one we have there is mitigation. Oh, they told you, okay, so putting it on the cliff is going to be a problem. All right, let's build bridges, right? Let's build a structure around it. Let's try to protect it. At that point, you are trying to mitigate the risk, right? You're taking steps to mitigate the risk, right? And then we have the risk transfer, where you basically insure the whole property, insurance. So you transfer it to a third party. You transfer the risk to a third party. Somebody else handles the risk. Like you rich kids out there watching right now, if anything is to happen to you, you transfer the risk straight to your parents, right? or insurance companies. So basically that is what risk transfer is all about. And those are the three of them. You would also see somewhere, possibly, you might see risk appetite mentioned. The risk appetite, oh my God, it's not easy spelling appetite. Okay, so the risk appetite basically just is talking about your ability to, stomach a risk, ability to accept a risk, right? So we have so many companies out there. Microsoft, for instance, can accept a risk of losing up to $300 billion, more than a small company that is only worth $10 billion. So I think you get the idea. Your ability to take that risk is your risk appetite. So that is basically all about that particular one. And everything else is just going to be explained in the ISC square. So we have a knowledge check in there. And we're going to try to attempt the knowledge check. Basically, it's still the usual thing. It's not really a big deal to provide. Oh my God. I thought this video was going to be short. I'm not asking Copilot. Oh my God. We still have a long way to go. Retake the content. Oh, take note, there might be changes in the outlook of your ISC square or whatever by the next time you actually go through with it. There might be some changes, right? Something might look different. Okay, so we are having kind of a slow day with this one. Is it going already? Why is it so slow? Restart. All right, so please, let's go ahead. Okay, so you can pause the video here to try to answer this. Taking action to prevent or reduce the impact of an event. Where does mitigation fall under? At this point, you might have selected your answer already. I encourage you to read everything. This is obviously the answer. When you're talking about risk transference, you are transferring it to somebody else, obviously. I'm just going to look for what that is about. Oh, you were supposed to pause and pick your answer. My bad. Well, transference is going to be, let's see, passing the risk to a third party. How about avoidance? Pause here. Okay, we good? So with avoidance, you totally escape it, like you try to move away from it, ceasing the risky activity. How about acceptance? Yeah, pause the video right now and pick it. You have? Okay, so acceptance, you ignore the risk and continue the risky activity. How about vulnerability? Okay, did you get that? Okay, so vulnerability is a weakness. How about threat? What's a threat? Great. How about an asset? You couldn't even miss that, So basically, all should be correct. And that's it. And the next one we have there is about risk treatment, and we are just going to attempt this. When a company chooses to ignore a risk and proceed with a risky activity, which treatment is being applied? Domain 1, lesson 1, 2.2. The treatment that is being applied, obviously, is going to be acceptance, right? Since they choose to ignore the risk and just proceed. So that should be our answer, and we'll move forward from there. And now we are on risk priorities. Unfortunately, it seems we are having a longer video right now. But let's just continue. With risk priorities, basically, it's about how you are looking at the risk, how you prioritize the risk, basically. And we have the qualitative risk analysis and the quantitative risk analysis. The best way to know it is when they talk about qualitative, right? They are talking about stuff like high, low. Like this one you see right here is qualitative, right? This is qualitative risk analysis. And quantitative is going to include numbers. I think it's good if we just show it on the, on the browser so you get it. Qualitative risk analysis. I'm just going to go straight to images. What is going on? And yep, you can see it's based on numbers, a lot of numbers, numbers and numbers and numbers and numbers. If I click on this, I should get, this does not look qualitative to me. This is more, okay, yeah, there are numbers on top of it, right? And when it's quantitative, they are talking about high, oh wait, qualitative right now. Oh my God, did I just mix it up? Okay, so qualitative is based on low and high and all of that. And when you have numbers, you know it is quantitative, right? For instance, this is low and high. This is obviously qualitative risk analysis. But when you have something like ranging from 1 to 10 or 1 to 100, a risk being from 1 to 100, 1 to 10, those sort of things are quantitative risk analysis. So it's not bad. You're good to go. You're really, really good to go. What do we do from here? Yeah, so basically that's everything about in here. Likelihood and impact. Do you see that? You might need to understand those things more. And now we have decision making based on risk priorities. There's just a short thing there. You could choose to accept or reject if it's a high probability, high impact, high risk. You leave it alone. Depends on you. So we have the risk tolerance there. It's your ability to tolerate a risk. I feel like I've explained this. I don't know why, but I feel like I've explained it. Okay, all right. So you being able to tolerate a risk, basically, that is your risk tolerance, right? So it's very helpful when you understand the topics, the ideas behind it. It makes it easier for you to go through with any part of this show thing. So that marks the end for our module 2, and I'll see you in the next one. Please remember, the test is right below. You can try attempting the test as many times. Oh, no, I think I put 2 attempts so we don't get overwhelmed. So, of course, it's on mastery level. It's being used by quizzes, and we'll see you over there. Come to think of it, the video wasn't even as long as the first one. I think we're making progress.